how's it going everyone? I'm Seaside and welcome back to another Pokémon Aim to be a Pokémon Master episode review. Last week we covered the first episode of this new little season of the Pokémon Anime where we saw Ash taking care and looking after a Latias. But in today's episode, Ash is going to meet up with a very old friend. So without further ado, let's jump into today's episode review. The episode opens up with Ash and Pikachu by the sea. Ash then releases some of his old Pokemon. We get to see Corphish, Totodile, Rowlet and Leavanny. And can I say, again like last week, it's very good to see these old Pokemon. However, there's only 4 Pokemon there, Pikachu being number 5. Who is that 6th Pokemon that Ash is carrying around? Like last week, we still don't know. Pikachu then decides to go fishing and manages to fishes up a Clauncher. Ash tries to catch it but is interrupted by his old friend Misty. Ash and Misty both decide they want to both catch a Clauncher and decide to have a fishing battle. However, after several amounts of time and several hours, I'm guessing, that they're there trying to fish for it, they eventually find Clauncher. And, well, I say they find, Misty finds Clauncher first, but Clauncher ends up beating her and drags her into the ocean. Ash then finds Clauncher and the same happens to him. Team Rocket then appear in their Magic Carp sub, and let's just say it's a very good to see this returning after so long. I believe it was X and Y. We last saw this, we've probably seen it before then, but that's the only thing that can come to mind. We saw it in Black and White and obviously the original series and things like that, but it's good to see it making a return. However, Team Rocket are too hungry to do any sort of real battling, and Clauncher and Corphish teaming up beat them and send them blasting off. Ash then decides to have a battle with Misty, and the winner will be able to catch Clauncher. And they have some good animations. I mean, Ash uses Corphish, while Misty uses her Politoed. And there is some good animation moves here with the Hydro Pumps, with the Focus Blasts, and animated moves like that. They're really good to see and really good animated. But even though these moves were really good animated, and the fact that Ash was winning most of the battle, Misty did eventually beat Ash, which means Misty was the winner and able to catch Clauncher. Oh, also during this battle, we saw Latias flying above. I'm guessing it's a Latias from last week's episode. It was invisible and it seemed to be watching the battle, I'm guessing. But yeah, that was in the episode, which, hey, it's good to see that they're not just passing over last week's episode, it's actually part of this storyline. A little bit later, Ash and Pikachu are walking through the woods, I'm guessing to go into another town, going over to another location, and Misty is behind them and they decide to team up for one last adventure, and that is pretty much where the episode ends. So there we go. What did you guys think of this week's episode? I thought it was decent enough. I thought it was a bit better than last week, maybe not as good as it could be. I thought a lot of the episode was leading up to the battle between Ash and Misty. But nevertheless, there are a few points that I want to talk about. First one obviously being Ash's old Pokemon. Again, Corphish, Totodile, Rowlet and Leavanny. Good to see, however, Corphish was the only one that really did anything. I mean, Totodile, I don't even think it did absolutely anything. It sat next to Pikachu. I think it jumped up and down and it ran around a little bit, but that was about it. It got knocked into the water as well, but other than that, it did nothing. Rowlet was asleep for the entire thing. The entire episode, but then it woke up right at the end of the battle between Ash and Misty, so it missed everything that happened before that. And Leavanny, the most memorable thing that I remember it doing was stroking Psyduck's head when it was waiting for a hug from Pikachu, and Pikachu just went to Misty instead of Psyduck. That's the only thing I can remember Leavanny doing. But yeah, this was very much a Corphish episode. The other point I want to talk about is Misty, and it's really good to see Misty. I think last time we actually saw her properly was in Sun and Moon, I want to say, where Ash actually battled Misty back then. But it was good to see how they were reminiscing about old times, how they had the Pokemon laws, and Misty actually said that, hey Ash, I gave you an old one, so why are you using this silent one? The battle between Ash and Misty, I feel like it was kind of rigged. Rigged may not be the best word to say for this, but, I mean, it's the end of the Pokemon Anime. There's no point Ash catching a brand new Pokemon this late into the anime, especially when it's the final season, so it's pretty guaranteed that Misty would have caught this Clauncher. But what rating will I give this episode? I think I'm going to have to go with the same as last week, and that is a 7 out of 10. It was an okay episode, although nothing really happened until that battle between Ash and Misty. But there we go, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section on this episode. I believe next week we get the introduction of Brock and Silent coming back, so I'm looking forward to that one. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week with the next one.